Oh, hey,
What?
you go YouTube? It didn't
Yeah,
take.
it didn't.
Nope.
It's
It's,
taken. I mean, I'm seeing it over there on my YouTube.
oh, I don't see it.
Oh, I don't have the logo up here at the top. That globe right there, that's YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I can't seem to connect through the normal path, so
I
I
got you.
had to think outside the box and do it a different way.
So
So,
they sent me a thing. There we go.
Big Tony's in the house tonight. He's in the house. Bringing that beat, making it sweet, so sweet. People on their feet, their feet. Big Tony's in the house tonight. Big Tony's in the house tonight. Singing the house tonight.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Yeah, I felt like I was at a concert real quick. Whew. I thought I was having acid flashbacks from the late '80s.
I hear you, man. I hear
Maryland.
you.
Yeah, I tell you, I was gonna say something, and then you caught me off guard with that bam. Tony's in the house. I said, "Ooh, Tony's here." I was like, "Good
Yep, yep,
God
yep.
gracious,
I gotta adjust my camera here.
you crooked. You're off to one
Yeah,
side."
well, I have a tendency to lean to one side or the other, and sometimes it puts me out of frame.
I got a tendency to lean down a lot. I'm awake.
Let's
So,
see. It's kinda oh, hey.
how you and Marilyn been doing since the last time I talked to you on the yesterday? I think it was.
Oh, we're doing good. We're
This
doing
whole
good.
weekend just kind of went whew, to me.
Yeah, see, that's a little more centered, in the split frame there.
I don't want to be center. I want to be center right, baby. Center right. I
Yeah.
don't like center.
See,
Center is
I'm far right. You ain't heard?
you're far right.
You ain't heard? That's what they say anyway, you know?
You're far
I'm
right
right
or
up
I'm
there
far.
with Jake Lang and Nick Fuentes.
You? No, that must have been the Jews that put that out there.
No, no, no. I went on this guy's podcast. He'd been uh, and I was in his chat. I mean, I didn't actually go on the show. I went in his chat and you know, he saw me up there and 'cause I gave him a follow and all that and he started talking to me. He's like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm a podcaster. And
Whatever the
he's like,
fuck I want to do, that's what I do.
he's
I
like,
don't care who.
he's like, what kind of podcast? I said, well, politics. He's left or right. I said, right, duh.
No, I shouldn't.
And
No, you should have said Kamala should have won.
he said,
But she was
everybody
just
get,
too stupid. So Trump
everybody.
took it
He
home.
says everybody give Big Tony speaks a follow. He's the next Nick Fuentes. I said, oh Lord, I I don't know about all that, but
I was watching Nick this morning. He's convinced that it's all going to be World War III, and that it's the Jews. They're controlling Trump, and
yeah, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. These the people like Nick Fuentes and all the Jews people. They always want to
to
say
say
that
Jewish
Trump is
or
being controlled. Trump is just a puppet. No, Trump is not a puppet. He's never been a puppet, and he never will be. Now, is are the rhinos freaking isolating him, and convincing him that this, that, and the other thing? Sure, absolutely. I mean, that's why for so long, he'd be saying, well, so and so's doing a great job when they're actually doing a crap job. You know what I mean?
yeah, I didn't mention it yesterday because I there was too many other people on the podcast that it really wasn't all about politics. But uh, like, we went to that Lincoln dinner Friday night, and one of the senators for our state, John Eustace, was there, and he was giving a little speech, and and I was like, our table was right next to theirs, and
Yeah.
it got real silent, and somebody said something was over there. I could hear him talking about how they did a final vote at 3 a.m. Then he drove all the way to get there just to have that dinner with them, because he had some other stuff he had to do.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah, he was one of those.
yeah. So I'm thinking, and I looked over, and I don't think Larry even knew what I meant when I said this. I said, "Yeah, 3 a.m. crap vote for the country." So it's like, well, he
Traitor vote.
should have just left at 9 o'clock that night instead of waiting.
I consider every single one of those that were there. There was only 5 of them in the room.
Yeah.
Okay? I consider every single one of them a traitor, not only to the Republican Party, but to the United States, period.
Yeah, I'm not a big John Eustace fan. For one thing, he used to be our governor's lieutenant governor before the President Trump asked him to run because we had an open Senate seat,
Right.
and Trump asked him to run, and or actually he was appointed, then he ran, I think. But that's how it was. He was appointed first, and then he ran. But
Right.
him saying that he was DeWine's lieutenant governor and was proud of the work they did, I'm thinking, you just lost my motherfucking vote. You piece of shit, you. I'm allowed to cuss on your show, right?
Do what? Yeah, you
I'm
can
allowed
say it. Yeah, go ahead.
right.
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna
You say
say,
it.
I don't wanna to offend the ears of Maryland or nobody.
You're not gonna offend
I don't
either
have a
one of
tip
us,
jar.
and you're not gonna blow my monetization, so don't worry about that.
I don't have a tip jar, so I can't tip for every foul word I say. Although you could throw a dart at something, and then I'll have to sing karaoke one night on your show or something.
I
I did.
don't have any darts, nothing like
I had
that.
to do 2 karaoke songs Friday morning. Oh, one of them I couldn't even tell you what even the hell the name was. You just have to watch it. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. The song itself, yeah, I didn't have to say a word. You just read the lyrics of the song, and I'm thinking, they stooped to a new low. 'Cause there's something about I caught my daddy fucking my mommy, and all, I mean, and I ain't kidding. These are part of the lyrics.
Well,
Yeah, it's like, where in the hell did it come? And it was going so fast. It's
yeah.
like speed rap. You know what I mean? It's just like, look, I'm a fat tongue, slow singing country kind of person. I like rock and roll, but I don't sing a whole lot of rock and roll, or I definitely don't do rap. I can't get, when they had me do What About Dre, I mean, I got through probably 3/4 of what they were playing that I had to do. And because he never plays the whole song, I only have to do like, 45 seconds of it or something. But I'm not a rapper, Tony. I do know, what they say, what do you want to do with your life? And some other people say, I don't know. Well, I can tell you that's one of the things I don't want to do. I
I
know.
wanna rock, man.
I want to rock. I wish like I said, I'm going to start learn how to play the guitar at age 60. So,
Right.
because I always wanted to be a lead guitarist. Although that'll never happen because I have too much arthritis now. But
Oh, dude, man, I used to be a pretty darn good guitar player, but, with my hands are so messed up,
well, I'm
I I
afraid I'm
can
going
I
to throw
can
the
barely
guitar
I can
across the
barely
room.
play rhythm now.
It's like I'll be like trying to do the thing on my phone, and my hands will jerk like this, and my phone will go flying across the room. Well, I
Yep,
guess that
yep,
didn't need to. I didn't need to finish that message. I'm done. I'm
yep,
going.
you can ask Marilyn, I have that same problem. This phone this phone has hit the floor so many times. I'm
I have
surprised that it hadn't broke the screen or anything.
I was getting ready to say, I have the best protector on this, but look how big the phone is with the protector. That's how big it is. The phone
Mm.
itself is real small. It's just, this won't even fit. Like, how you got some things that's got like a cell phone slot that you fit the phone down in.
Uh-huh.
And then like, how you're like, if you're how we make videos and stuff. You got that little clamp you can put your phone in and it clamps it.
Right, right.
The clamps don't spread wide enough for this phone with this big old thick ass thing. So, so
Yeah,
I hold
I
my
got a
phone a
case
lot.
on mine too. I mean, if you look, you can see the bezel right here. But
Yeah.
here's one. Here's where mine's different than a lot of people's phone case. I don't have a glass screen over my actual screen. That's the real screen right there.
Oh, no, I have a protector of mine.
So what protects it is that bezel right there. When if it lands, it lands on
Yeah,
the thing, it'll bounce and it'll go like that. But see, because it's got that deep bezel right there, it
yeah.
never gets hit.
Yeah,
You
mine
know, so
I don't think mine's one good thing about in here, usually if it gets tossed, it usually gets tossed into like a pile of dirty clothes or something. So although some every now and then I gotta get there before the if the dog sees it land, whether it hits the floor or
it's a
dirty clothes
toy.
or whatever, it's on its way. It's just that you gotta beat the dog to the phone if you don't want to have big old chew marks in it.
Yep. If it hits the floor or a pile of clothes, it's a toy.
Then the dog thinks you're playing, see, at that point.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you
Then
threw something.
then she'll run around and then hit me, and, like, she hit me into the Chester drawers the other night. The dog ain't playing, and then she knocked me off balance. Wasn't for the Chester drawers there, I'd have been, wondering where my phone is so I can, do that, I've fallen and can't get up thing,
Right.
to one of my relatives, you know what I mean? "Yeah, come on in. I need help." But, I don't know about you, but, like, my neuropathy is acting up bad this week.
Oh yeah, mine here lately,
My
past
right
few
foot,
weeks has
man.
been acting up really bad.
Like, even sitting in these chairs, we sat in these chairs a long time. Just the weight of the leg, bent knee down,
Uh-huh.
you get that burning, stinging sensation in you and just, like, portions of your feet, not even the whole foot, just
Yeah.
portions. It, like, pinpoints a little, like, pressure point, and then it
Have you
radiates.
has your doctor checked your neuropathy using that little needle?
Um, my neuropathy
They
hasn't
take that
been.
little needle and they scrape it across the bottom of your foot?
Oh, yeah, well, I used to get injections in my feet before they
Well,
put me on
I'm talking about,
gabapentin. But, I
I'm
mean, it I
talking
mean, it
about
took
that,
me forever to figure out why because my feet started hurting, right? For no reason.
Mhm.
I went to the doctor and I was like, "Doc, I'm a guy that stand even at the bar, I would slide the bar stool over and stand at the bar saying, well, for one thing, this fat ass, even when my legs worked right, getting up on them tall bar stools, it's not pretty. It doesn't look cool at all. Plus, if I stand, even if a tall person sits in the bar stool next to me, if I'm standing, we're still at the same height, see? So yeah, so I just started standing everywhere I went. And I'd be at work talking to a mechanic and man, my feet, I even bought new shoes. I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm wearing these shoes out and I just can't see it through the sole thing. And it didn't work. And then I was like, man, this is getting bad. So,
Yeah,
my girl
I can barely stand to even wear shoes.
my girlfriend, well, like I wear slippers in the house. My shoes, they just feel like they're strangling my feet.
Mhm.
It's miserable. It's kind of like people with that fibromyalgia deal where, you know, it, and my brother has it real bad. You be in his house, he don't ever wear a shirt in his house. He's like, I can't wear a shirt, man. It drives me crazy. Just that material rubbing up against my skin is miserable.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that's kind of how my feet are, basically.
I have times when, especially during the spring and summer, I'll sleep with just like a sheet over me,
Yeah,
and, I'll have times when I can't even stand to have that sheet over me.
yeah, yeah. I can see that.
'Cause I'm so ate up with neuropathy that, a small child or a small dog can come running up to me and stand up, put their paws or their hands against my leg, and oh my god, it sets me on fire, you
Well,
know?
I See, that happens when my dogs do that very thing to my legs, when I come home or whatever, and, like, it'll catch me off guard sometimes, and, it's like, I'll snap back or whatever, and, "Boy, you think I'm an evil motherfucker. Why'd you holler at that puppy like that for? You don't understand how that hurts. That
Yeah, I
hurts."
mean, that's, and that's something I had to learn to control is, the instant reaction to pain, you know, is most of my friends have had, dogs or, or either dogs or small children, and so
Well, Big T, I've never been able to control my instantaneous first response. And sometimes you'll say shit that it's like, where did that come from? I didn't realize that come out of me. So if I've been possessed, I didn't mean to say that. No, no, I didn't mean. No, I didn't mean. I didn't fucking wish you were ever born, child. Stop it. You know. You know.
but yeah, no,
You're devil's spawn. You're not mine.
I've taught myself a whole lot of things, a lot of things, mostly a lot of things about control. You know, um, for most of my life, I had to deal with head shrinkers all my life. Well, my school, I won't go into why, but my school refused to let me come back to school before until I got evaluated. So
Did it
they
involve
they
a
said
manifesto?
they said either he's insane or he's evil, so you got to have him evaluated before he can come back. So,
Well, you, you know what I'm saying? Just a short paragraph manifesto of some kind, just a small one. You're not evil, so
no, look.
you must
If I
be
was gonna
insane.
do if I was gonna do the stuff that some of these people are doing, the mass shootings and school shootings and things like that, I would not write not anything down. I would there wouldn't be no. I don't understand why they all have these manifestos. What the I'm not writing nothing down. I no.
It's like the world was taken over by Beavis and Butthead.
Right? I am cordial. Deep part of my bunghole.
That's funny. That's funny. That's so
I
funny.
have no bunghole.
You see that? That's funny. Oh my god! That was one of the things MTV. I think it was MTV that had it. Of course, I was already an adult, working my way through the career thing, and I seen that
Right.
my kids were watching. I'm like, oh, this next generation's in trouble. It's like when the first time I ever seen Teletubbies. I'm thinking,
Oh
oh,
god, them things are evil.
I
No, no,
seen
no, no.
Teletubbies. I'm thinking,
That whole
oh, these
show
young
is
ones are going to
evil.
be confused.
That whole show is evil.
You know who created that show, right?
No, I don't
Simon
care.
Cowell.
Oh yeah, Simon Cowell. I actually made reference to him in my show this morning. The Big Tony Speaks the Word, my Bible show.
Oh,
Because he did an interview and he said some things that applied to what I was talking about. So, you know,
Simon Cowell. He's a different person today than when he first started all that. You
oh
know,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
he's a much kinder person today, because he's big on animal rights and stuff like that, and
Right, right.
which I guess if it and it's not just like a vanity project because he takes his dogs everywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's even been known, like if somebody throw their dogs out on the side of the highway or whatever, he's even been known to stop his limo and fetch these animals as best he can if they're fetchable. But if he can't, he'll stay there till animal control shows up to get them. So
Right,
he's serious about it. So I got to give him that. But he's still
right.
Hollywood. It's funny, British people going Hollywood. You know, it's kind of like Canadians going Hollywood. It's what was I watching? I was watching something, and some foreign person was making so many critiques about America. And when I found out they were from the UK, I'm thinking, oh yeah, you people, you have no clue. Now, that 16 hours was a blur. Was you on there when my Australian guy was on there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Ronan. He
Yeah.
stayed with me till the end. Of course, it was in the middle of the afternoon for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's an interesting cat. Now him and Watchman. Like, did you see the comments Watchman was putting in the chat room about Ronan, right? Talking about uh worshiping false gods. That guy's evil. He'll steer you down the wrong path. And because
Right.
see, when I think I mentioned this when I started that Wednesday night deal, which now is Barstool Politics, because I'm trying to learn more because I can't, with my dyslexia, reading doesn't really. I mean, I can read just fine, but it doesn't. I can't comprehend long form things the way most people can. So, anyways, he's like, "Well, we'll just go through it." And he says, "As we read it, and he likes the Hebrew version,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
he
well,
he puts it up on.
The Bible was written in 3 languages across
Yeah,
66 books.
yes,
Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
yeah, and when I ask a question about a word, he'll bring the word up, and he'll bring up all 3 translations,
Right.
and then we'll talk about it. Now, whatever made that mad about whatever made Watchman mad about that, I don't know. Uh, but Watchman's one of those guys also that thinks it's the Jews.
Right.
The Jews did everything.
That's why that is more than likely.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say that was why more than likely why he had such an issue with that is because if you refer to the Hebrew, then you must be a Jew lover or a Jew, and he has an issue with the Jews. So you know obviously, but
Well,
see, here's the thing, the
go ahead.
Bible was written in part in Hebrew. So if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty in the Bible, you have to refer to the Hebrew sometimes.
Plus,
You know?
wasn't Jesus Jewish?
Yes. I have
So
brought that up so many times that, Jesus was a Jew,
now
you know?
we all can find fault in things written in, like, especially like the original writings I've mentioned before a long time ago. There's questionable things in there where they align with the Muslims a little bit in their original deals, but that was then. Just like everything else, a lot of it has evolved into something
Look,
different.
uh, I mean,
I mean,
if you really want to know about what the Jews believe, I can tell you. I mean, I
they
have
believe in money.
copious notes
They believe in
on.
money, I know that. Which
Well, yeah,
I got nothing against, by the way. For
I
any Jewish people
right.
watching,
I
I
do not fault them. I do not
forget
fault
no,
them for being, you know,
good business people.
uber good at doing business.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you have a problem doing business with a Jewish person, it's buyer beware. You don't have to do business with them if you don't want to. But all your celebrities, including your black ones, say, "Yeah, look, my Jewish lawyer is the shit." You know what I mean? So, or my Jewish accountant done
Well,
made me a ton of money.
they're they're the best at what they do in most fields that they occupy. You know,
It's because they got that like Jewish guilt. I got to do good. I got to do good. I got to do good. I got to do. They
I
think
mean, they're but that just goes as far as them being the best of what they do in most fields. That just goes back to how they're raised. They're raised with the utmost of work ethic.
yeah.
And
But well, me. I love Watchman. I consider Watchman a friend of mine. He calls me. He emails me stuff. He helped me get some of the stuff from my guitar and everything, strings and all that. And but me and him have like we do have difference of opinion. And like I told him, on the Jewish thing, I said, and he sends me stuff all the time. Well, you need to watch this if you don't believe me. You need to watch that if you don't believe me. And but like anything, garbage in, garbage out. It depends on the bias of the documentary of the person,
Right.
doing the documentary. So, because you can find enough documentaries
Look,
that has the opposites, you know what I mean? It's
look, I
opposite
think
of that. So,
give me a little bit of time, and I can pull up evidence for every side of every debate that that you might come up with. You give me a little bit of time, and I can pull up proof. I mean, of just about everything. I
I personally don't have a problem with Jewish people. Now,
I don't either.
Netanyahu, that's a different story. But that's kind of like you talking about like our in our situation, our country, uh, don't have a problem with Christians, but I do have a problem with the US government. That's like Israel. I don't have a problem with the Jewish people, but I do have the problem with the Israeli government. You
Right.
know what I mean? So there's a difference there. You know, they like to unlike the Muslim deal, where the Islamic faith is their, like you say, their governance. Everybody else is a little different,
Well, it's not a face. It's not.
right? But you know
It,
what I mean. It's
that's a
everything.
lie that they tell the infidel.
I just watched a video this morning over there. I don't know which country it was in, but this woman was in one of those head to toe deal, being beat by somebody in a towel.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, she was publicly being beaten with this like big old like cow whip thing that looked
Uh
like
huh.
a big old leather flapjack kind of thing.
Uh huh.
Like, and you could hear it smack every time it hits her, big time.
Right.
And she's every time it does, she'll scream and moan. And I bet he beat her at least 10, 12 times. And you got all these young men around videoing it with their phones and stuff, and they're like talking in their foreign language, and some of them even made a couple chuckles. I'm thinking, why would you? Mm, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
for any woman that wants in this country that wants to support them, I say go home with them.
Right. Right.
And I
I
don't
hear
mean
you.
like go back to your street and house here in
Go back to your
America.
country.
I mean go home with them.
Right. Right.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come
Yeah.
back no more, no more,
I
no
mean,
more,
like
no more.
I say, as far as Watchmen and his whole thing with the Jews and everything, you know, you want to know what the Jews believe. I can educate you. I mean, literally right in front of me, I have
Well,
I have copious notes.
my whole Wednesday night thing when I started that was not I don't care about the Jewish faith. I was trying to learn about, go through the Bible, right? And we started at the
Yeah,
beginning. We literally couldn't get out of the Garden of Eden
right,
without Watchmen
right.
chiming in,
Well,
talking about he's teaching you evil stuff.
right, right.
He's
That's
teaching you
that's
the
what I'm
Garden of
talking
Eden.
about. That's what I'm talking about. Is yeah, you can't talk any kind of religion without him butting in and throwing his 2 cents in. How it doesn't align with what he thinks,
Right.
so
Well,
it's
he ain't
evil.
the only one though.
And now see that's here's the thing. That's how my dad was. He was kind of backed off of that in his old age, but that's how he was for most of my life. If you didn't believe exactly what he believed, you were the son of the devil, and I mean, for real, you had to believe exactly what he believed, you know. And
well,
now he realizes that me and him are going the same direction. We just kind of look at some things a little bit differently.
the thing with most people, and what I liked about Ronan the way he did it is like for one, he was willing to do it, right? Because it
Yeah.
was like 10 o'clock at night. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was actually started out at 9 was original, and that's like I wanted to be fair with him because he's retired. You know, he's in his early 50s, but he's retired. Uh, and he lives out in the bush. I mean, seriously, he lives out in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. So I wanted to be kind to his schedule, and for him to be kind enough to come on my podcast every week, and let's go from beginning to end, and then not get too far off base. Let's not get long winded on stuff that doesn't matter. I wanted to stick because that's how my brain works. If we talk about one subject, we can't be like giving me, okay, well, this is
Well,
kind of has something to do with it, but don't, and they'll start going on to another story and a tangent and stuff. Well, let's stick with what we're reading and what we're discussing. And
right.
and I
Well,
find that
one
hard
thing with
for a
you
lot
and
of people to do with me
yeah,
is to stay on task when that's required.
yeah. One thing about the whole trying to read the Bible from front to back is, well, you have parts of the Bible that are like what we call the begats, you know, and so begat so and they begat so and they begat so and 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 they begat so and so 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 so. You know, it's lineages. You know, tracing down bloodlines.
Right.
You know, and you really, for your Christian faith and whatnot, you don't necessarily need to know that. You maybe know where to refer to it. You know, if something comes up and you need to refer to that, know where it is in the Bible to refer to it. You know,
Right.
well, and that's and the majority of that is in Numbers. There is some in Genesis and Exodus,
Well,
but not
you
it's
probably
not.
heard his story. We were like 3 weeks into it, right? We were doing it like no longer than 2 hours. And most of the reason why it would any discussion would have been anything other than what he was reading was because I'd ask a question. And then he'd say, well, let's look that word up. And he'd bring it up on the screen. He would share screen and he'd bring
Right,
in
right.
the word and then he would give the Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, and he says, because they all say the same thing, but have a little bit different way of how they describe
Right.
something. And like, like the true word of God,
Yeah,
or true name of God, whatever.
it's unpronounceable. It's, but the the Hebrew has like there are certain love, for example. There's like 15 different words for love. Each one is a different kind of love. It'd be like the love between yourself and your mother, the love between yourself and your father, the love between yourself and your God, the love between yourself and your neighbor. I mean, there are lots of different kinds of love, and they have a word for every one of them.
And that's not really a bad thing because we only have one word, and
Right.
it could mean anything depending on
We have to
how you're
add other
trying to.
words to it to get a different
You know
meaning.
what I mean? Like you could say I love my brother, and you can say I love my wife, and
Yeah, well, we have to add descriptors in order to make the word love have a different
we
meaning.
have to
You say
caveat.
you say something like brotherly love, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
or
We have to caveat it.
right.
Yeah, like trust me. No, I like my wife completely different than I like my brother. Trust me on that.
Priscilla,
That's it.
I love you like a
I'm
sister.
not from Alabama.
No, 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 Priscilla, I love you like a sister.
That's
Different.
right. I'm not from Pakistan or Afghanistan or Iran or any of those ands. I'm not from any of that. No, because it could be like straight up at the tree there. That's just saying.
Well, that's the thing is, over there it is. Yeah, it's,
Hmm.
a branchless tree. It's a telephone
So they
pole,
must have forgot some of them extra meanings in the love thing.
right? Right.
They got the meaning. Oh, you meant that love. Ooh, I
Right now,
screwed up. What she want to do? Give you a belly
Now
dance?
she walked past heading into the kitchen and did that, you know. And I said, "Right now?" But hey, I want to
That
show
would be a
you
different
something.
podcast.
Right, right. I want to show you something and get your opinion on it.
You
Um,
want my opinion? Really?
just what you're somebody other than me and Marilyn, so you know.
Yeah.
But
So there's not a high bar there. We are different than. I'm just
so
the other guy in the room.
there it is, and yeah, let that propagate, and then we will do this right here.
I
So
have been doing like instead of being all serious with politics and everything. Although we still talk politics. It's this skillet tries to be so serious, man, and I will not allow him to be. He hates it,
right, right. Well, you see that? That's my merch store. Look at the products there.
right? Got
Okay,
what
this shirt right
sticker,
here.
shirt,
This,
car. Is that cards?
huh?
Yep.
This right here?
No,
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 that's a
no.
puzzle.
This is a puzzle. I know you can't see what I'm pointing at. The square thing is a puzzle.
Right. That's a
Okay,
puzzle.
cool. Kind of like the puzzle with my hot rods.
Here.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I see it now.
This shirt, you see it.
Right,
It has that same design on it. It's showing the backside right here,
right.
which of course has my links and everything to follow me and etc.
Yeah,
And you got the coffee cup.
yeah. There you go.
But I mean, what do you think about that design? It's based off of the Gadsden flag, right here behind me.
Well, you made
Yeah.
the snake a little scarier.
If you look close, I mean, he's burying his fangs and whatnot.
Well, I know, but I mean, look at the curled snake on the flag. I mean, then look at this.
Look at the curled snake on the flag. It's generic. It's an outline. There's no detail.
Right,
This snake has detail, and
right.
you can
It
see
makes
this
it look.
his
It looks
open mouth with the fangs, and
right. It looks scarier that way. It looks more evil. I like that.
it's well, I mean, I based it off the Gadsden flag, but I wanted to kind of give it a little update a little bit. It still has the "Don't tread on me," and it has the other part of that, liberty or death.
Now that's all through Teespring
It's spring, yeah.
or whatever they call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause
If you go
I
all the
use
way to the bottom, see, look, if you go all the way to the bottom, you see
I
this,
see it.
see this right here.
Spring.
See where it says spring. You just click on that. And here, I'll do it for you so you can see it. And here's what it brings you to.
See, I use that Printify company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is spring. They got crap tons of products and whatnot, and
Yeah,
lots of
see that
people.
that Printify is limited. Now I'm getting ready to do some embroidered uh, hats and stuff, which I don't have. Mine's just decaled or whatever you want to call it, hot press.
So you can even create digital merch, like an ebook or whatever, and sell it on here. You know,
I'll save that for those who want to get behind the firewall of my OnlyFans.
at your OnlyFans.
Yeah, yeah. My girlfriend's my OnlyFan. So needless to say, I'm not making any money at it.
But yeah, yeah, this right here is the company that mine is through. It's
Now I got a
spring.
question.
It's spring by Amaze. You know.
Uh, quick question. Like
Yeah.
my Printify, see, it automatically attaches my website to what I create, and then it automatically carries it over. Does yours
Okay.
do that?
What host are you using for your website?
Wix?
Wix. Okay. Yeah, they have a lot of deals with certain product manufacturers and stuff like that. um, and they set it up so that it'll propagate into your website and all that. Um,
Want to give people as much variety as they can possibly
for
handle.
somebody like you on YouTube, your account on YouTube,
Yeah,
um, Spring does have integrations into YouTube and several other social media sites, for to you use it as your merch store. I mean, you could get the little carousel up underneath your videos on YouTube. That
yeah,
little carousel that you see on some creators thing, you
yeah.
can get that. I mean,
So I needed to diversify. Need to diversify my products.
so you see all the products that I have.
Yep. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna have to launch a new website
Launch a new website.
for my radio station.
Oh. You're gonna do a specific one for the radio station.
Well, I that's kind of what was suggested to me,
Right,
but I
right,
know that my current website has the ability. It's like right now, even though it's emptypocketsnobs.com, y- we still have my car side and my political side. And when I do my blog, some of them are like automotive maintenance, preventive maintenance ideas, or if I'm wanting to talk about, like I'm gonna get in because it's becoming up drag racing season, and I follow like Southeast Gassers. I may, do a
right,
little
right.
something with that, and so you have a choice. It's like you can like the coffee mugs, Empty Pockets podcast coffee mug or Empty Pockets garage coffee mug. You have a choice. Now the only artwork I've done is my old broke mechanic that pulls his pockets out and there's nothing in it. I've not yours.
Right.
I've not done any like how you do like logos or like you got the Leering Center on there. I
Yeah, yeah.
see. I haven't really thought about uh, novelty shirts that are
That is the actual
right,
by the way, that is the actual logo that's on the actual Quality Learing Center sign.
right,
I just changed the phone number. That's the only change that I made to it. That is the actual, logo that's on that sign.
right. And like I said, I've not even tried doing anything like that. All I've done is recreate my art for my cars and just my Empty Pockets podcast logo uh, on that side of it, and anything that's got art in it is my car side.
Right, right. Yeah, that one right there, the Jesus. That was created with AI. That's like 3 different pictures melded into one.
Pretty cool. Now, see, now the Printify, and I'm sure it's because I'm not paying for it. Doesn't really require me a lot of like how you got like color involved with all yours. You know what I mean? Mine's pretty much
Right.
basic,
Yeah,
whatever.
these little dots up underneath the, products, that's all the colors that they're available in.
Oh no, no. I mean, like
See, I
my
see that?
shirts and
I just
hats and all
changed that
that.
color.
Yeah, but see, okay, so but does your OG, see that stuff stays the same. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about change. I can change all the colors on my product itself. I'm talking about my artwork, like
Oh,
my
yeah, no, my artwork stays the same no matter what.
well, like
Um,
if you want a black hat or T-shirt, I got to make a special logo for those because my logo is in what they call antique green,
right.
and so but it doesn't show up very good on black. So I'm gonna have to do a white, but I'm thinking I'm gonna do that with my embroidered version of it. Like my when I sell hats that are embroidered, it'll be the white lettering and stuff on that side of it. Yeah,
Yeah, all of those are embroidered.
Yeah, I like that trans is gay with extra steps. Oh my gosh. And for those haters out there, that's Big Tony Speaks hat, not mine.
Well, you are on Big
Yeah.
Tony Speaks
I just
channel.
wanted to be clear on that. I get enough hate as it is. Uh,
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I've been called everything. I've been called a racist and a transphobe and a homophobe and
well, the
the Islamophobe and all of that good stuff. I mean, I don't care,
some
you
Haitians
know.
have posted the Haitian flag on the Facebook page and talking about when TPS goes away, those who spoke up against the Haitians will be the first to go down. So
Wait,
yeah,
I don't understand that.
because
That
when
doesn't compute.
TPS when PS TPS goes away, they said those who spoke up against the Haitians will be the first one to go down. But they're saying they're not going to go without a fight. And they put this thing on there said, yeah, Haiti forever, and or forever Haitians, what it said. I'm sorry, and that they had the flag up there. I didn't see it right away. It was actually brought to my attention by one of the ladies I do my Sunday broadcast with, and there was like several things on there, but that was the first thing that come to mind that I can remember because
So
they
so
they have
so
been
let me
they
get
have
this
been
straight.
purchasing guns.
Let me get this straight. Let me get it straight. Okay, they weren't willing to fight for their homeland,
Exactly.
but they're willing to fight the United States of America and die.
Well, they think we're weak.
Yeah, no,
I know this.
no. I mean, we're literally, you know, destroying, the Muslim, headquarters. I mean,
Well,
basically, I
the
mean,
thing with the Haitians, the
the
Tonys,
Ayatollahs are the leaders of the Muslim world. So,
the uh, the Haitians were brought to this city, and they were told that basically that Springfield, all of its youth have a drug addiction, and they're all don't never finish school, so they're stupid and lazy, and most of them are fat. So they're brought here to do the jobs that the local Americans can't do because of all the above. So they've literally been told they are the saviors of Springfield.
no.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But see, we have a Haitian gang problem here. Uh,
Right, right.
we make fun about me being like a Haitian pimp or whatever, but they truly have the monopoly on that uh, prostitution thing here, and they also have like drug houses and some of these bunk houses that it's kind of like twofold kind of thing, and they have two houses, one on the west end and one on the south end that stashes guns. They're called well, basically they're called stash houses. It's where they stash bug out money, uh, some drugs, and a lot of guns.
Mhm.
And they are the gang side of it are the ones that are saying that they're not leaving without a fight.
Well,
But
I'll put it like this. Um, if I was up there and had someone up there, um, foot the bill for a shopping spree at a hobby store and a Home Depot or Lowe's, you wouldn't have a gang problem no more.
yeah, yeah.
They wouldn't be alive, but you wouldn't have a gang problem
Remember
anymore.
when I was trying to do like I was asking, everybody here wants the bitch, right? And I predicted this very issue 6 months ago, and everybody thought I was crazy. And then all of a sudden, it came out. The story came out about how they were because they said, "Well, they can't buy guns. They don't have no. They don't, they can't buy guns, but the
But
people
people
who
can
do
buy them for
business
them.
with them can buy guns, and then they give them to them. To
Right, right,
trade for drugs, trade for services. You know what I mean? So there's all kinds of ways you can get guns,
right.
and And
Well,
so
see,
with
I legally can't own a gun. Okay, doesn't mean that somebody around me can't own a gun.
I should own one, but
And it is and it is, in certain situations legal for me to take that gun and use it, in certain situations. But here's the thing, if I declare war on a group of people, I don't need a gun. You know, I mean, I'm serious. I could take an entire neighborhood out and not bat an eye. You know, I mean,
and
yeah,
for those watching,
I wouldn't even break a sweat.
this is for entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment and education.
I say it's so funny because we'll be talking like on Sunday nights. They'll say something off the wall, or they'll instead of just saying allegedly they did something, they'll say I know they did it or whatever. It's like I
Yeah.
know
Well,
you, I know
I
you
learned a
feel
long
like you
time
did
ago.
that, but you got to say
Yeah.
allegedly.
Well, I learned a long time ago that if I say I know how to or I can do this thing or that thing, you know, that I can say that stuff all I want all day long, and nobody can touch me. It's when I say something like I am going to do this thing, or something of that nature, or I
Yeah,
will do this thing.
but
You know.
I've been trying these people get in my chat room on Sundays and they'll be bitching about this and bitching about that, and I said, well, you know what? Let's just do a militia. Y'all want to be, y'all want to organize. You want to, you got to get off that couch and come
Well,
out, do something, help the community
ev-
out. You know what I mean?
everybody wants to be a revolutionary until it's time to
That's
do
not a
revolutionary
revolutionary.
things.
Yeah, but the militia is not what. That's not revolutionary. It's
Well,
it's
most people, they,
they equate it with
they
that.
talk about we need to start a militia, we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, they're talking about revolutionary things, but they all want to be revolutionaries until it's time to do revolutionary things. You
Let me tell you
know.
something. I tried to get one going. I even talked to that lieutenant colonel, with the United States militia, where it's
Well,
50 states wide, and everybody's part of the same group, and everybody would be it's like a national support. Which it's when you explain it, you're helping out during natural disasters. You're attached to the local sheriff's department. It's not like a rogue thing, but none of I had 12 people that were interested in it.
right,
It's not enough. I mean, it's a start, but it's not enough.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, here, when the Constitution, you know, basically tells you that well, not basically, it does tell you that you have a duty. If your government becomes tyrannical, you have a duty to overthrow that government and put in place a government by the people, of the people, and for the people. But here's the thing: it never uh, um, um, it doesn't discriminate between city, state, or federal.
Right.
It just says government. So I mean, legally, according to the Constitution, the people could literally overthrow their mayor and his government, you know,
Oh,
by
absolutely.
force with guns, you know,
Yeah.
um, and they're doing their constitutional duty. If they all feel that the uh, the government is tyrannical, you know, and the same with the governor and his government, or if it came to it, the president and his government.
What I tried to express is they all want to talk about organizing. The Democrats are good with organizing. The Democrats are good with sticking together. The Democrats are, you know, stay in lockstep with each other. I say, well, we can do that and help the community at the same time. We could do something the Democrats don't do, and that's form a legal militia. And that way you can serve
Well,
your
now,
community.
No, you're not exactly right there. You said the Democrats don't do it.
Not here.
There are militias on the Democrat side.
I'm sure there are, but they're
They
not here.
they do exist. They are armed. They are trained. They are well trained. You know,
Yeah, but they're not here. I'm saying where I'm at, they're not here. I
right?
don't know where
You know, I
they are
mean,
elsewhere in the country, but
I'm sure there's some in your state.
I'm sure there is. But
You know, so I mean,
but it, they just if they are, they don't make themselves known. So I don't know. But to me, it was a reason for a Republican because it would make sense to them to do this. Democrats don't do it for community service.
no,
Democrats
no,
do
no,
it for nefarious reasons.
right, right.
I'm talking about
But
doing
no,
it
like,
for a couple good reasons.
groups like BLM,
Oh well, fuck them
Antifa,
motherfuckers. Yeah,
the
I know what
Black Panthers.
you mean. Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. They're all armed militias. Now, do they stay armed all the time? No. They go out and do their little protests and whatnot. You know, they many of these left wing militias are parts of these groups that are involved in all of these protests and uprisings and whatnot. They're the agitators.
Yeah. I mean, you could call them militia. I just,
No, what I'm saying is these groups. You see the ones that go out and do the protests.
yeah.
Okay, you don't see the ones that are out in the woods training.
Oh, I know that. I've been
Okay?
talking about this for a while
You
now,
know,
Tony. I mean,
they're
they go to
parts. The
they
ones that are out in the woods training with their AR-15s and what have you.
they
You
go to the
know,
gun range
they're
more than we do now.
they're parts of those same groups that are out there doing the protest, but they're out in the woods doing training. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
there
like
are
the.
even transgender militias.
I know. I was just getting ready to say the guy that shot Charlie Kirk was part of the. Oh, what is it? Queers, armed queers of Salt Lake City. He was part of that
Yeah,
group.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a militia there in Utah,
yeah. I
um,
tell everybody
and they're
they're
actually in
starting their own
Utah.
gun clubs. This is where
Yeah,
they meet and they practice and they practice.
yeah,
The same
in
people
in
that say we shouldn't have guns have
yeah
learned.
In Utah they actually have several uh, quote alternative lifestyle militias because nobody else will take them, so they have to create their own.
Yeah,
No other militias will actually take them. You know, because the other militias look at them as a liability, and they don't agree with that ideology.
I would
So
infiltrate one of them, but I couldn't act gay with a serious straight face for more than 3
eh,
minutes. You know what I mean? Walk in, hello, I'm here to learn how to shoot my weapon. Hello. Then I'd crack up. Then I'd be busted. Be like, he ain't gay.
and you should have seen me and my friends at times. We'd be walking through the store, and one of us, like me and my former friend Josh, he turned out to be a pedo. So, but anyway, you know, before I knew all that, me and my friend Josh,
Minor
we go to like
attracted
Walmart.
individual.
We yeah, maps minor attracted persons. But before I knew all that, we go out to like Walmart or something like that, and you know, we looked like something that just crawled out from under a rock. I mean, not like we're back in the day. We used to dress in leather and spikes and chains and all that good stuff. And of course, people would start staring and stuff like that. So it was inevitable. One or the other of us would start pulling the gay thing like we were a couple or something and yelling at the top of our lungs at, and They wanted to watch us and look at us. We decided we'd give them a show. And we'd be doing that all over Walmart. I mean, just as at the tops of our lungs.
My
So, I
memory's so
mean,
bad. You remember the rock band from the 70s? The lead singer come out gay later. Oh, man.
well, there's a number of those.
No, this one was pretty famous. He always dressed in biker leather, but I'm trying to think of the name of the band that he fronted. God damn
You talking about Rob Halford,
it.
uh,
No.
Judas Priest?
Judas Priest. There you go.
You
Yeah,
know,
Judas Priest. So when my older brother was like a big Judas Priest fan, right? So when he found out that guy was gay, he was devastated. I mean,
yeah, I
he
mean,
broke his
also,
records. He's
yeah,
like, I
also
can't
Dee
believe this.
Snider of Twisted Sister, he's gay. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I don't care. To me, it didn't matter either way. But it's just my brother thought that this guy was hardcore. He didn't realize that like dressing up in chaps and certain just the leather jacket or the vest by itself and the way he didn't realize that was like a New York gay kind of thing.
well, not just in New York gay.
Well, I mean,
It
that's what
was
I
there.
call
There
it.
was a subset of gay individuals that would dress up that way and go to their bars and stuff. Famously, the Blue Oyster Club,
So you got to understand.
where the Blue Oyster cult got their name
Yeah,
from.
we're talking where I
It was also featured prominently in Police Academy.
right,
Um,
but we're talking about where I live. That's the you just nobody. It just didn't happen. So there was no group of people around here that is like is stereotypical that you would be able to identify as oh well yeah
right.
but like in New York and places like that
Well,
then they would dress up and go out to the clubs that way and
well,
it
they
was
had their own clubs. That's the thing. That's why nobody cared back then about whether somebody was gay or whatever,
oh they
because
cared here.
they did their own thing. They had their own clubs. They went to their clubs. They didn't get all up in your face with it. They weren't trying to go after the children. They
But yeah,
it was frowned upon, back in those days, so they kept it to themselves and they did their own thing,
well
you
the
know?
first gay
That's
bar
why
that I
so many musicians and stuff, they were gay and whatnot, but they didn't make it, like, public until way, way long later when it was more accepted,
the
you
first gay
know?
bar in this town that was known to be a gay bar got burnt down
Right?
many times. There was
Yeah,
police
lit
called there,
and
not because of fights inside the bar, but because
yeah.
of fights, people jumping them as they were leaving the bar and beating them up
Oh,
because of
yeah,
what they
see,
were.
that used to be a thing, gay bashing, that's
Yeah,
what that was called,
yeah, I know.
gay bashing, there's songs about it, there's a famous quote from a song is, "My friend's doing time for kicking ass on a queer," so,
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Tony. That's what I'm saying. I lived it. I seen it. I
I did too, I
I
mean,
know.
around here, we had a number of gay clubs, they were out on the fringes of
Yeah,
town, but we had
we
a
we
number we had a number of them burned down mysteriously, you know, um
we only had one, and then another one did pop up till the '90s.
So we've had a number of them. In fact, the last one, the last one that we had literally around here. There's a couple of them in the next city over, which is a much larger city. That's Macon. Um, Most everybody knows about Macon, Georgia, the home of Little Richard and a whole bunch of other big stars.
I
But
I just remember the car movie, but so it's Macon, Georgia, and then there's a Macon County, right?
yeah, there's both a Macon County and a Macon, Georgia. Macon, Georgia is Bibb County. It's funny. Macon County is a separate thing.
Right. Have you ever seen the movies about Macon County?
Hmm.
The 57 Chevy.
Right.
That's what Macon. When you said Macon, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, most see it. Macon, Georgia is home to a whole lot of famous musicians and et cetera. So I mean, that's what most people know it for. But you know, that's 15 miles away, 15 miles to the north of where I'm at, and yeah, the last gay bar that I know of that was around here actually got shut down by the county, and then it was the whole property was confiscated and auctioned off, and now it's a regular bar.
Why was it shut down?
um, I don't remember the exact excuse, but the truth of the matter was that didn't nobody want the gay club there. You know, so
Yeah,
I mean,
that's how they
but I
treat.
can't
That's
I
how
can't
they treat.
remember what the excuse was that they used to shut it down and confiscate the property. I think
How
it might have been
they
drugs.
that's how they treat strip clubs here. You can't have a strip club in Springfield.
Oh, no, we shut all our strip clubs down. They have to be way out in the county,
Yeah,
and
same
the
thing.
county is actually starting to, crack down on them.
That's what I
Um,
like about Dayton and Columbus. You can just go into the city and there's like a whole street, a whole strip of them.
oh, yeah, where you just go right to Macon and there's shit, a bunch
Yeah,
of 'em. Pretty large ones too. I mean,
yeah, yep. We have some.
we we used to we used to before they started cracking down on those clubs. We used to have a strip club right on our main drag. It's called Watson Boulevard. Right on Watson Boulevard, we had a pretty large one right on the main drag, and then you go further out towards the edge of town, and there was a really big one out there.
The biggest one I ever been into, and this is kind of funny because everybody knows who Larry Flynn is,
Oh yeah,
and he started in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm uh, all the way in West Illinois,
Larry
and
Flynn of Hustler fame.
yeah. So uh, we were after we were there. I was getting some education for tire sales and stuff like that. Anyways, it was close enough to drive. It was like 50 miles, 45, 50 miles to St. Louis, and so we didn't know where we was going. It was not even particularly that place. It's just that, well, you just stay on the highway in St. Louis. You can't miss all the neon signs of all the clubs, the bars, or whatever. And the
Right.
first thing I seen was Larry Flint's Hustlers Club. I said, "There's where we're going." He's like, "Seriously?" Yeah, because they haven't even intended on going to a strip club, right? It was the largest club I'd ever been in my life. You
Right.
walk in and there's a sign above the door. It says 50 strippers on staff at all times.
Right.
50, and it was massive.
My
It was
chat on YouTube is not coming through to my main chat here on the screen. I just looked over and noticed that a whole bunch of people been talking in the chat over on YouTube. No Baloney Mahoney is in there. Well, he looks like the
Hi,
majority of the
chat.
chat.
How you doing, chat?
In fact, he's all of the chat.
He's probably, why ain't you paying attention to me?
Well, see, I get all my chat right here on my main screen,
Yeah,
and for some reason today it is not coming through. I apologize, Mahoney,
I have that problem all the time.
if you're still listening.
Yep, I have that problem all the time.
Yeah, I apologize. I am not trying to ignore you. I didn't. No, the second time takes it away. Said the second time he hit like. No, the second time takes it away.
Come on, Mahoney. It's not
Yeah,
his fault.
put that like back.
Come on now.
Oh.
But it ain't no. So is the total including is the total correct up there between YouTube and Rumble, or is that just Rumble's count?
What you see up there is Rumble's count because it's the total's not coming through. My chat's not coming through, but we're transmitting. We're streaming over there to YouTube. It's on the screen.
Well, yeah, I don't know who usually watches your stuff this late at night, but they're probably wondering, why's he got that guy on here for? Who is that dude? He's got a lot of weird stories.
Well, truthfully, and honestly, as far as on my show, I'm not usually on late at night. The
Got
only
it.
time I was on late at night was when I was still doing Insomniac Theater,
Yeah.
before all the copyright stuff. And
Man, sometimes, Tony, you just got to get on here and just start bullshitting. You know what I mean? You ain't got to have a specific topic or nothing like that. Some of my best live streams. Now, is there any quality in those live streams that I have that I call the best? No, because that's not what they were intended for. They were intended for us to get on here and start talking about stuff that we talk about, what's concerning us,
right,
whatever to do. Hell, it could even been, Marilyn got mad at work and come home, took it out on you, and you want to vent
right.
me, but of course you can't
All
do that
that
because she's
stuff, all
watching.
that,
But
yeah, all that stuff that we literally just said to Mahoney, it's going to be a minute before he ever even hears it because the lag is so huge. It's still me showing you about spring,
whoa,
That's how huge that lag is.
ouch.
It is
Okay,
still
so
showing
Mahoney,
that.
when you hear this, we've already logged off and went to bed.
Probably. That
Uh,
lag is huge, man. I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm like, wow.
that's so crazy. You ready for tomorrow night?
Yeah, yeah. Like I told you, my whole plan is not to actually debate him. You
Right.
know, I
We were talking, I was going to say earlier, it's not just Watchmen that way. Of course, you got Band History, who will be on tomorrow night. And then you got Joseph, you know who I'm talking about.
yeah, Joseph, man, I think majority of his stuff, he's just busted balls.
Could be, but
Really.
he likes to blame the Jews on there. And maybe because the same way I do, just to be
Yeah,
funny.
the Jews.
It's the Jews. You can't help it.
But yeah, I mean, he comes over here on my show in the chat, and yeah, I mean, he'll do that a little bit, but he's not like all hardcore like
Yeah.
Watchmen and band history and whatnot.
We got
And
we got contaminated water turning the frogs gay. It's the Jews.
but I mean, you know, my as I said, my whole plan. I have no actual plans of actually debating this guy because there's no debate in that topic. I mean, anything he says is BS because I mean,
Well,
because
that's the whole idea
he's
of a
gonna try to
debate.
do all the history and stuff, and that doesn't matter. You know, I'm gonna make a short statement, and then I'm gonna play some videos, and that's it. When I'm done, I'm done. There's no debate.
The history lesson. The history lesson is only valuable going back to a certain point because that's like saying that, okay, we're going to debate slavery today because it happened, 150 years ago. We wouldn't be debating it today because we don't need to go that far back in history. We need, if it was about, say, race relations, well, we only need to discuss the last 50 years or less. And
Well,
then you could probably have a debate about that. But
I mean,
going back
if
a hundred,
slavery was about race, then why was the first man in America to own a slave black?
well, true, but see,
Period.
but
That's
going
it.
that
End
far
of
back
debate.
don't do any good. It evolved into something else later. But what I'm saying is, we only need to worry about what is affecting us today. So
Right.
whatever the debate is, you can't go back 100 years, or you can't go back 1,000 years. You know what I mean? And say, hey, you know, that they did this back then. Well, none of those people are alive today. None of them. for generations and generations and generations. So let's not even. It's not even a debate that if you can't stay with current people, say within the last, say the current people who are alive, maybe their father and their grandfather. There's nothing any further back than that that really, mm, affects anything we do today. I mean, there's
I
some
mean,
things, policy changes maybe, but y-
I mean,
still, as a group of people, come on.
truthfully and honestly, nothing further back than say 50 years really, solidly affects us today.
That's what I'm saying. 50 years or less.
I mean, and that's and that's why I refuse to debate these people that want to do all the historical stuff and all that doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on today and how it's affecting us. You know, I mean, when there was a time in my life, and we're talking a good mm, we're talking a good 30 years ago. Where I was actually a devil worshiper. You know, am I that same person? No. So why do I even talk about it? I don't, except for just now I mentioned it. You know, I won't go into all the things that I did
See,
and saw.
I
You know,
consider myself a devil worshiper because I love women.
so women are the devil.
Yes. Just like the foosball. You know what I'm saying? Me in my mind, it's just the foosball. Same thing. Foosball back. Girls, eh, let's just say they make you do evil things.
I don't
'Cause,
know if that's a make or a choice.
well, it's a choice. That's, they got a spell over you.
Well, I put a spell on you
That's right.
because you're mine.
Okay. Be like, man, I don't know what happened. I spent one night with that girl and I ain't been right since. Whew.
You might want to get that checked.
I got it checked. They told me it takes a lawyer to clear it up. And man, that's expensive.
But yeah, right, right,
Because in Ohio, I don't know how it is in Georgia, but in Ohio, if you're the man, you are fucked. I don't care how bad of a person she is, how bad of a mother she could be. I don't care if she's a slut. I don't care. None of that matters to the court system in the state. The man still gets the short end of the stick.
right, right. Always, always.
Always.
Yep, that's a fact. Always.
That's like when you see these on the street interviews with these young women and say, "Well, what do you think about men? Men ain't shit. Fuck men." Well, why didn't
Right,
y'all say
right.
that when I was young? Then I could have went through none of these problems I went through in the last 40 years.
Well,
Because
men ain't
y'all wanted us back then. Now look what that. I mean, then we had to get divorces. Then it cost us a ton of money. If you'd have said I wasn't shit back then, I'd have left you alone and just used the old purchase as by the hour people and go on about my business. But no, no, you needed a man. You wanted a man. You wanted to have a family. Then he's like, gotcha.
right, right.
Mm.
Yeah, men ain't shit, but they show enough get mad when you talk about leaving. You know, you
Yeah,
know,
it's so funny. It's like I like to get drunk and I'll talk to a girl, be like, "Let me be your next ex-husband."
right, right. You know, tell them, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in sex outside of marriage.
Are you a virgin?
You
No,
know,
I've been married 3 times. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Just saying. personal
Oh,
experience. Nobody else has to
right?
follow my advice. Any advice that I give, it's not really advice, it's my personal experience of something. You do what you wanna do, men,
Right, right.
but trust me, run.
Well, it's like this, all women are crazy. They're all crazy. There's not a single one that's not.
Not
Okay.
disputing that, not nope, I'm right
You
there with you,
you just have to choose
but you're
how
crazy
much
you want.
crazy you can deal with. You know?
Man, I have had to deal with a whole lot of crazy in my life.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Big time crazy. Oh,
if
you
you
don't
knew my
understand. You see
exes,
that hat you're wearing? They would have
yeah,
been
they need to be there.
they would have been the first poster people for those, advertisements for those places.
Man, I am 5'6" tall, and not the ex before Marilyn, but the ex before that literally has a mental health record that if you stacked all the files on top of each other, you stacked it up, it would literally be taller than me. And I'm not joking.
I thought it was gonna say if you stood on it, you'd be over 6'2".
If I stood on it, I'd be like 15 feet tall.
So what you're saying is she's the U.S. Tax code. Just a reference there in case anybody's ever seen the tax code printed out and printed out
Yeah,
and printed
I have.
out and printed out.
Yeah, it don't stop printing.
No. Glenn Beck actually, and this is a long time ago now, when he was still on Fox News, he decided he had his team print out the U.S. tax code. Well, he got in trouble because, see, they had to keep going to the store and purchase cases of print paper, which, Fox News didn't approve that, but he didn't realize the tax code was that big.
Right.
And they had this huge they had two tables, fold out tables in the end, and they were stacked like so high, and it was like curving the tables. And from one end of the table to the end of the second table, massive stacks. And that's our tax code. I was like, are you kidding me? When Donald Trump says he can find a loophole in the tax code, he ain't kidding.
Oh
You
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. See, and that's why when he did the debate, he basically just said, I know the system is rigged. It is. And they asked him, well, how do you know that, sir? Well, because I use it, and so do all her cronies. If they have had control for all these years, if they wanted those tax codes changed, if they wanted those loopholes closed, they would have done it.
Yep. It's so funny how many people he was friends with before he decided to run for president.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. I mean, it was
Clintons being one of them because, they invited him to Chelsea's wedding.
yeah. Over the years, over his life, he is kind of bounced around with political affiliation. There's times when he's been Republican, there's times when he's been Democrat, he's been independent.
But he
You know,
has admitted that it was easier to pay a Democrat to get something than it was a Republican. He did admit that. He said, "Yeah, if you want something done, and you've got to grease palms. I don't. He said, any big town you in, whether it be let's just say the organized labor or the local government, you got to pay somebody something." And he says the blue cities, you could get stuff done easier than you can a red city because the red city they want to research what you're, even though you can still give them a little moolah later, they want to make sure it's something that is going to make them look good later, basically.
right.
And so Democrats, shame on you. Shame.
Right, right. They're a bunch of money whores, but they
They're all whores.
Trump was the darling of the Democrat Party for ever and ever.
I mean,
They
hell,
loved
him and
gave him all
Snoop
kind of
Dogg used to hang
awards.
out together.
Do what?
Him and Snoop Dogg used to hang out together.
Right,
You know,
right. I mean,
Oprah loved
know,
him.
he he was given awards from groups like the NAACP.
Yep.
I mean, they were giving him all kinds of awards. They were honoring him left and right. They were they everybody wanted to be in the same room with him, and you know and especially they wanted to be rubbing elbows with him, etc.
You
You
know,
know.
he could have ran as a Democrat and doing everything he's doing right now. No different.
Well,
And he would be the hero of the town. Doing the exact same thing, except he would not got all this pushback and all this protesting against him. They would have loved what he was doing if he'd have ran as a Democrat.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is the Democrat Party. They took off and hauled ass to the far left, the extremism left.
As we like to
And
call the 20%.
well, they grabbed the goalposts. There's a goalpost on one side, and there's a goalpost on the other, and you have the far left and the far right. You know, and then you have the normal left and the right. Then you have the center left and the right, and then you have the center, dead center, which is where I was for a long time.
You know it's bad when Bill
Then the
Maher.
left, but
Good.
then the left decided to grab that center post, the dead center post, and take it with them as they ran to the far left extreme, and they left me dead in the far right.
Well, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. The like Bill
Hey,
Maher.
trains have been derailing.
Yeah. So, well, it was Bill Maher that comment I was going to say about Bill Maher. When he starts, basically berating the Democrats on his show because they'll say something that is part of that moved goalpost. And like he says, I'm still the Democrat of 30 years ago.
Right.
They moved the goalpost. I didn't go with them. He says, I still consider myself a Democrat. So when all these people get on there and start talking about lunacy shit, it's like he said, he'd have never thought that you'd be talking about a lot, having testifying in front of Congress whether to allow men in women's sports
Right.
and why it should be allowed, or the discussion on what is a woman.
I never believed that there would even be discussion on allowing a man into a woman's bathroom or changing room. I mean, I never dreamed of that until, well, it came about.
And let's be honest,
and
these 60 some, 70 some, 80 some people, year old people that are in Congress and the Senate, they're they're like passion thing now. A man can be a woman can be a man, and you can't identify or you can't just say what is a woman anymore. Those people they didn't just, if they had that point of view when they first got in Congress, we'd have had this conversation 20, 30 years ago.
right.
Instead, they want to go along with the young ones.
Well, it's not necessarily that they're the young ones. See, the majority of people on the right, conservatives, we're collectively known as conservatives. No
Yeah.
matter what part of the right we're on, we're collectively known as conservatives. So the conservatives, the majority of them are, Christian. And well, see, Christian doesn't cotton too well to the so-called alternative lifestyle.
Yeah.
The whole, alphabet people and whatnot, you know. So they they have a hard time finding a place on the right. Now there are some right wing alphabet people. I don't know how they justify that, but yeah, they do. And there are some right wing, they vote Republican and support Trump and the whole nine yards. But the majority of them have a hard time finding a place on the right. So of course they gravitate to the left. And well, the left, here's something that a lot of people don't realize is that the left firmly believes in eugenics. Why? Because they are the party of racism. Right? They firmly believe in eugenics, that certain people in our population, are uh, uh, defective. They're not, they're weak DNA and etc. And they should be culled from the DNA pool.
You mean the ones when you holler up at them, "Quit swinging on that porch."
Well, them and there's other groups that are in that same category as
The
far
Jews?
as being considered to be lesser human beings.
Who? I
Um,
mean, I'm me, I don't know. I guess you'd have to I don't know. I
well,
my family was kinda different. We even though we're from the South, we had a different point of view than what you consider typical Southern people would have.
no, don't say typical Southern people, because
Uh,
most Southerners did not agree with the Southern Democrats.
stereotype.
I mean, they did not. Most Southerners did not agree with the Southern Democrats.
Well,
Right, the Southern
explain
Democrats
that
are
to
the
a
ones that created the KKK,
right, I know, but you
literally.
explain that to a black man, and they're gonna tell you Southern redneck hicks, they're all racist.
Well,
So,
more
it's
and more and
stereotype.
more, the black population is actually realizing that the Southern Democrats were the ones who did all that to them, not the Southern Republicans. I mean, and not Southerners in general. You know, that's the thing. And see, the the Southern Democrats, you know, they 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 had a control over the South. They had the political power and etc. That's why they were able to hide the KKK for so long from the majority of the country. That was their terrorist wing of the Democrat Party. They did the dirty work. You know, they did the criminal stuff that the Democrats that were out in public could not do. Without a hood. Um,
Well, I got a question. So, the people of the KKK, they consider themselves Christians, right?
okay, not everybody that cries "Lord, Lord,"
Right. Well,
I
let me
mean,
get to my question. I'm
but
using
they
this as
they called themselves Christians.
right,
They
right,
weren't.
right. So, y y when I say that, every when I say stuff, it's always in generalities because it's what they say they are. Now, what they really are, I'm not really looking for you to break it down for me because we know they're not. What I need to know is the origin of the burning of a cross. Now, would Christians burn a cross?
No, no. I could, I could explain to you the origin of it.
Well, I never did
Um,
understand why they burn a cross when they're
well,
supposed
they
to be
call it
so
the
happy.
lighting of the cross, illuminating the cross. They don't call it burning the cross. They're calling it
Okay.
illuminating
Well,
the
they
cross.
illuminated a lot of front
I
yards of
I
some
personally
southern.
I personally knew, until he died, a grand wizard of the KKK, and, I didn't agree with him, and he knew it, he didn't agree with my views, but, I was friends with his son who wanted nothing to do with that kinda thing, and I'd sit down and I'd talk with him. I wanted to know what the whole mentality was, what the things that they did were, and all that. And he would show me books and stuff, of what the history was of this and that and the other thing, that the reason why they did it, And I mean, I could truthfully, honestly, go into that, but we'd be here like for the next 2 days, with me explaining all that. But, they called it it's not burning a cross, it's lighting the cross. It's also sometimes they call it illuminating the cross.
Well,
Um,
without going into a 2-day explanation, what was the purpose in
Intimidation.
just to set something on fire in front of them?
No, 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 it's the
The cross
symbology of the
itself?
cross. It's the whole symbology of the cross, that is lit up, you know, and that it's intimidation, it's the fear factor, and not the TV show. Um, so, I mean, it's that fear that it instills. You take a holy symbol like the cross that even the southern, black folk, revered the
We're
cross.
we're religious, right?
Right. So I mean, they revered the cross. You know they saw that as a holy relic, and then they would see these evil people in the white robes and hoods, coming up doing, very bad things, and they would, in the front yard of a black family, or anybody that they didn't want, uh, in that area, they stake up a cross and light it, you know, and if they can do that to such a holy symbol, what else can they do? You know,
Yeah.
and it's that fear factor, the intimidation factor. That's the whole point of it. You know, so I mean, and that's most of what they did. They would snatch up some black boy, and take him and beat the living crap out of him, and then carry him back and leave him in the front yard where they picked him up, or where they knew he lived, you know, and so he would be found, at some point, you know, it's intimidation, it's fear. They instilled fear in people,
Well, the
you
thing
know.
is to me, if they didn't want them around, what do you usually do to a person or a group of people you don't want in your town, in your state, in your country? You don't just beat them up and leave them sitting, out in the front yard for the rest of them to see it. What do they? What did they really expect them to do? Pack up and move? Move to where?
Yes,
Move to where?
anywhere but there.
But then that's what I mean. So,
They didn't care as long as they moved away from there.
but it didn't necessarily happen that way
No, it didn't,
because
but that was their goal.
that was their goal. But they fell short of their goal by doing it right the first time. If they really was serious about it,
I
They-
mean, truthfully and honestly, rather than, at the end of slavery, rather than offering them, 40 acres and a mule, which is what they did,
they should offer
you
them a
know,
ride home.
they should have took them and all their kids and grandkids and whatever, because some of them have been here for a long, long time,
Yeah.
you know, pack them up, all their kids, grandkids, everything, put them back on a boat and send them home, send them back to their home countries, as where they would go and they would discover that slavery was rampant in their home countries. and it still is to this day.
You know, you almost wondered if it would have been the, and I don't, this may sound bad, but if that wouldn't have been the better idea at the time, uh, for one thing, because they always say, well, you know how today, well, we were stolen from our homeland. Well, if we just let them go home, or send them back home back in the day before there was millions. uh, But now all they do is gripe about shit that happened 200 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Shit
Right.
that happened 200 years ago, get over it.
Well, really,
Please.
truthfully, honestly, you know, honestly, I really think that, you know, yeah, when the war was over, and the slaves were freed, they should have, said, okay, well, I'm sorry, but you all have to go. You were brought here from another country, and you have to go back. You
Yep.
know,
We freed
Yeah.
you. Now you can go home.
Right? We'll provide you all with paperwork showing that you are free men, so the whole world will know. And maybe we'll give you a little money to spread around when you get back there.
We give you $1,000 in a ride home.
Right?
Back then it would have been like $100.
Right, right, right. That'd been a crap ton of money back then.
Yeah.
You know,
I went home.
and
I went back home and bought that 40 acres.
right, you know, and
Plus,
still had
plus
money
five.
left.
Plus, I bought 5 people to work it.
Yeah, right.
Now I'm a
Yeah.
master.
But yeah, I mean, I personally think that truthfully, honestly, the thing to have done, was pack them up and send them back to Africa to their varying different countries or whatever.
It
And
would have relieved this country of a whole lot of unnecessary animosity.
right, I mean, maybe they would go back and instill a hatred in those countries of America, but who cares?
Yeah, we
You
don't.
know,
And maybe a generation, or maybe their kids could come back here on their own as trying to get in as a U.S. citizen like everybody else, and then, like I said, that animosity wouldn't be there because they chose to come back here.
right? Yeah, it's if as we've always said, now I even legally, I do not endorse mass migration. Don't come by the 10,000s. I mean,
No country should be able to, or no country is capable of absorbing that efficiently.
no, no, no. The
And
the
it
mass
has
numbers that
really,
Biden allowed in, and I mean, there's no way that this country, um, could
and,
have come out of it unscathed, not being damaged by that mass immigration.
and all
And
these people who are anti-ICE or try to hide these people or whatever, shame on you.
right, right, for real, that's definitely a shame on you situation. I mean,
I don't even want to talk about what I would like to do to people who hide them and want to get out there and protest like that, because I can't say that and not have to retain a lawyer. So
right,
I say send them back with them. You like being around them so much, go back with them, because you obviously are weakening the fabric of this country just by your points of view.
right.
But
I mean,
that's a anti-American way too. we always are supposed to be so accepting. We're supposed to be so accepting. But if normal terms was put in place instead of all this craziness put upon us, we probably would be more accepting in small doses. That's where they screwed up here. They could have brought 3,000 here or whatever, 5,000, and it would have never been an issue. I'm telling you, this town would go, okay, all right, yeah, whatever. But when they put almost 20,000 here, it's
Right.
like, whoa, what the fuck
Right.
just happened?
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
Called
it,
called to make a doctor's appointment. We're 4 months out. Why? Unless you're from Haiti, you're gonna have to wait.
right. It's. I mean, it puts a strain on the entire system. To have that many people come in. I mean, minimal estimates for the entire nation. The minimum estimate was 20 million.
Yeah, I know.
Now we know that there's a lot more than that. You know.
Over the years, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're truthfully, honestly looking at closer to 100 million or more.
I
You
mean, it
know,
has to be because just looking how they're able to take over certain swaths of the country, just because it's like, well, perfect example is Elon Omar. She didn't get voted in by Minnesotians. She got voted in by Somalians.
Somalians. That's
Now,
right.
did you watch the Benny Johnson and JD Vance interview?
Some of it, yeah, parts of it.
What did you see where JD Vance says they absolutely have proof that she did marry her boyfriend and she will be facing consequences for that?
Well, that's not exactly what he said.
Oh, he kind of did.
No, well, kind of did and did is two different things. He actually didn't. I actually reported on that,
Well, what
and
do you actually say then?
I tell you what,
Bring it up.
since you asked,
I appreciate that because I don't want to be wrong.
let me see if I can find it right here. That's about Scalise's staff. JD Vance thinks aliens are demons. Let's
Yeah, I seen where
see.
Benny Johnson asked him about aliens. He said, "Well, I'm wanting to get into those. I just haven't got time to do it yet."
Biden security staffer arrested for killing his girlfriend. Uh,
What was his name? Not the killer, but the girlfriend.
Here, let me pull
Because
it up
it's
here.
probably a transitional thing.
Right,
It's one of the extra steps.
right. Here we go. Let's see. Former Biden security staffer was arrested and charged for killing his girlfriend in San Francisco. Nation Wood is the killer. Excuse me. Was arrested on Wednesday after allegedly fatally shooting his girlfriend Samantha MG, EMGE. So there you go. You got the name of the killer and the victim.
Well, it seems like a lot of Biden staffers are killers because you know that female uh, helicopter pilot that ran into that commercial airline was a part-time staffer for Biden.
Right. Well, it's not just Biden. It's Democrats. It's Democrats. It's not just Biden. A lot of these Democrats and their staff, and etc., are criminals and killers. And I mean, it seems like the outside of being communist or Muslim, one or the other, the Democrats are all criminals, of some kind.
Yeah, but none of them are in handcuffs.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's my biggest issue with Pam Bondi is that she talked a big talk, but she's batting 0. You know?
Yeah.
Sure, with the whole Somali thing, they have actually arrested and prosecuted actually hundreds of people who were involved in all that, but none of the ones that are spearheading it, none of the actual big names like Tim Walls, Keith Ellison, Jacob Price, Ilhan Omar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You know, so I mean, and that's what the American people want to see. You
Yeah.
know, if they're guilty of doing what we have proof that they did, arrest them, put the cuffs on them, do them like they did Donald Trump, perp walk, mug shot, the whole 9 yards. You know, prosecute them, punish them. You know, I mean, that's what I want to see. That's what the American people want to see.
That's what we all want to see. That's like somebody was telling me the other day on one of my podcasts that they believe the Epstein files is a psyop. I said, "Are you serious?"
No, Epstein files was not a psyop.
No.
However, what Epstein was, you know, he was a pervert. He was an evil person. He was doing some awful things. And believe me, I've been going through those files.
See, if you
But what Epstein was, I am, he was kind of his little business, behind the scenes, he was a financier, up
right,
front,
I call him a
but
networker,
he was a facilitator,
right,
for rich people.
right,
Pretty much anything they wanted, he would facilitate it. He would make it happen.
yeah. Well, that's
And
my
why
that's
was he
why
doing that? Why was he doing that? To collect information.
well, that's why I call him a networker. He did things for people and got people in touch with each other. He became a very well-known middleman to get stuff done.
Yeah, well, I mean, in some of the things in the files, he wasn't just the middleman. He was,
Well, no,
involved himself.
yeah. Well, it's like when he used to uh, he did that deal out of Ohio. He was personally involved with all that, transporting money, guns, people.
Right. I mean, it wasn't all just facilitating, but the main purpose of what he was doing was to collect, dirt, information. Information is power. Information is leverage. How do you think that Les Wexler ends up signing power of attorney of his entire estate over to a slimeball like Jeffrey Epstein?
Yep.
He literally, and he testified to Congress that he did that. And he gave him power of attorney over his entire estate, all his houses, all his money, all his investments, everything.
Yep.
You know, how do you
Yeah.
think that
See,
comes about?
right.
Epstein had some dirt.
And that's a big name here because he's from Ohio, or
Right,
at least
right.
that's where he is now or whatever. I don't know if he's originally from here, but
Right. But I mean, how do you think that comes about? Epstein had some dirt. He had some
oh yeah,
information,
sure he did.
and he says, "Well, I'm going to need this, this, and this, to keep this on the hush hush." You know,
That's like
that
the first time that we dropped bombs with Israel over in Iran, those bunker busters. I was on TikTok. You get on TikTok if you want to practice your debate skills. You get all these far left lefties, and they'll say, "Well, you know why he's doing that over there?" I said, "No, why? Because he takes the Epstein name out of the headlines because he knows he's guilty of being in the Epstein files." I said, "He is guilty of being in Epstein files, but what's he guilty of?" And, well, that don't matter because he's bombing Iran just to take everybody's eye off the ball, and instead of on the Epstein files, so what do you find in Epstein file that he's guilty of? Well, there's something in there. I said, well, what is it? Well, now he's been in pictures and stuff like that. I said, yeah, most of his pictures were actually taken at Mar-a-Lago where Epstein,
Yeah, long before
like in the 90s.
anybody really knew about what Epstein was and what
Right.
he did.
Well, I always tell people all the time, rich people hang around. They go to the same bars, the same clubs, the same parties. They go to the same fundraisers. They just do. And you cannot fault somebody for taking a picture for somebody else because
Yeah, I mean,
they may not know what they are or who they are when they take that picture.
well, here's a statistic for you. In the average lifetime of an American, any American, you have interacted with 53 serial killers in your lifetime, and you didn't even know it. Everyone. So, I mean, you may have pictures with a serial killer and you don't even know it. Because not all serial killers make the news.
Yeah. As long as I was throwing up a peace sign, we're good. You find the JD Vance thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I was
started talking and got distracted. Let's see.
well, so I was flipping through YouTube looking for something to watch, and I seen that, and I flipped it on, and that's like you said. Yeah, we have. There is. She literally did, or they said they had proof of her marrying her brother or something like that.
Pramila Jayapal wants Americans to pay reparations to illegal aliens.
Not gonna happen.
Let's see. Dang it, where is that? Hang on. I know I have it. I've got a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Kind of cold. I need to kind
yeah,
of cold.
I watched the interview on my TV, not on my computer, so I don't have it saved on my computer.
Right. Well, I watched it through the Gateway Pundit. Actually, they had it live.
I was waking up, and
they had it live on the Gateway Pundit.
I don't know when was the actual interview. Was it Friday? Was it Friday or?
I can't remember what day it was.
Because I know I didn't watch it live because I watched it at like 3 a.m. or something.
Hang on. I mean, I got literally all my stuff pulled up. It's just I got so much.
I guess it's not that necessary.
Kind of clean it out. Let's see. What's this? No, that's CPAC.
So I can fill a little time here. 4 nuns walk into a bar.
There you go. Hey, finish it.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna tell a joke, tell it.
Okay, so 4 nuns walk into a bar. They all get drunk. They leave. They're driving the old church bus. They get in a car accident. They all 4 perish. When they come up to the pearly gates, they say to the first nun, confess thy worst sin, and we'll have to cleanse you of it, and you'll be able to come into heaven. So she said, sometimes back at the convent, we had Father Edward, and every now and then I would see him in the shower and watch. And they say, okay, cleanse your eyes and say 4 Hail Marys, and you're allowed into heaven. So, okay, so fine. Second nun comes up and says, sometimes Father Edward would allow me to use my hand to pleasure him. So the second nun, they tell her, well, okay, wash your hands, say 8 Hail Marys, and you're allowed into heaven. So the third nun goes up to it, and the fourth nun snatches her up and throws her to the ground and runs up to the gate. And he said, well, why'd you do that? He said, well, if you think I'm going to be washing my mouth out in that bowl of water after she dips her ass into it, you got something coming.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be something like that. I knew it was going to be something like that. You know, just as it was progressing, I realized that, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I most definitely got to do some cleaning out.
that's what the nun said.
Right? Right?
I told that story during that 16-hour marathon. Again, I don't know if you're still in there or not. I don't remember. About my night at the club being called out by the cops about me driving away from there in my truck.
Right.
You remember that story?
Yeah.
Okay, so I told that story yesterday and I clipped it.
Yeah.
So now that story is now short out there, and I'm second guessing my decision on that, but it's too late now. Because, you know, it's a funny story, but you only get 90 seconds, so you can only clip the most pertinent parts of it. So the end of it, it doesn't go much past when the cop asked me if I was going to drive my truck home from there, and I said, not now. And then, because you only got 90 seconds to put in there, and so that's the part of the story I clipped in there where I got called out to the door by a cop, and the whole bar followed me out. Ex-wife blocked in the truck. Yeah. So anyways, we'll see how that plays and views. I'm kind of curious. Like I said, I second guessed my decision on that one, but too late. I got like 8 or 9 more of those short clips to do, even though they're optional. They say they want 30 of them a month. That's optional. So anyways, I got 8 or 9 more to do, and I'll have all 30 of those. And then I've met all my other partnerships. Matter of fact, I went beyond the numbers that they require.
Right.
Hell, just in that chat thing where you have to have 20. As of yesterday, when I looked at it, I had like 53. Yep, that's the interview.
About Ilhan Omar and exactly. Obviously, Ilhan Omar, the president and the White House have been out saying that she married her brother, that there is immigration fraud going on here. These are deportable denaturalization offenses. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, so we actually think that Ilhan Omar definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. And I talked to Stephen Miller about this actually recently. We're trying to look at what the remedies are. That's the thing that we're trying to figure out is what are the legal remedies now that we know that she's committed immigration fraud? How do you go after her? How do you investigate her? How do you actually do the thing? How do you build the case necessary to get some justice for the American people? There's a related issue, Benny, which is she has been at the center of a lot of
Stop it for a second. So she says they have evidence of her committing immigration fraud, which is marrying her brother.
No, she's guilty of multiple different kinds of immigration fraud. And here's the thing. The paperwork that her father filled out for them to come into the country was fraudulent. So she, again, you know, she's guilty of being part of that immigration fraud. She's a dual citizen. And according to the United States Constitution, you can have no allegiances to any other entity outside of the United States. And she's a dual citizen. She has allegiance to another entity besides the United States. She's guilty of immigration fraud. Now, there are multiple ways that she is guilty of immigration fraud. He said, and I quote, "We think that she did that." He didn't say he didn't say that absolutely unequivocally she did it. Okay. Now, a while back, it's been a good hot minute now. On X, some trustworthy sources actually came out with the marriage certificates and etc. on X, and I've been unable to actually re-find those posts. They may have been taken down. I don't know. But there were some actual reputable sources that actually, did the searching, the Freedom of Information Act and all that, and found the actual marriage certificates and everything, and basically on X proved that she married her brother. But that was back around the time that rumor first started. So I mean, it's been a hot minute, but that's again, that was on X. That wasn't the government doing any type of investigation or anything like that. And he did say we think. So once he says we think, that takes all the definitely she did it. That takes it all away.
Yeah.
I mean, and he did that on purpose.
Yeah,
okay?
You know how it is. You hear what you want to hear.
Because it is an ongoing investigation, so he can't really give hard information about any of the ongoing investigations. He can kind of give, we think this and we think that, and we believe this, and but we're concentrating on, if she did all this, what are the remedies that we can legally go after? So
I gotta do panic and rehab in 3 hours. Hell yeah, just stay up and do it with us.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to really suck if I try to go to sleep, at in the wee hours of the morning, and then turn around and have to get up and go do my doctor's appointment. So I may be just staying up. You know what I mean?
Yep. Wouldn't be the first time I did it. Trust me on that one.
I've done it.
Matter of fact, the last few months, it's probably happening more than the latter. You know what I mean? I probably have stayed up more to go to a doctor's appointment in the morning than I've tried to go to sleep. So the only thing is like these hours like this is the only thing we can do, to me, that's productive. Because like I need to make some phone calls and stuff like that, but nobody's open.
Right.
Nobody's in the office. So all my and I don't do a whole lot of research, because that would just waste my the way I do things.
Yeah. Oh,
I pay attention, I listen, I try to, I talk to you guys, so a lot of my stuff, I listen to you guys too, more than anything.
Right.
And
right.
then I mean, don't get me wrong, if it's something that I need to report on that's serious, I do the 3 sources thing.
Right. Right.
Because, in this is just talking in gist with what I thought he said. It's not, I didn't report this or nothing. I just remembered I'd seen that when I was waking up yesterday morning. So I would have watched it again before I actually played it on my show or something.
Yeah, the minute any politician says, I think, we believe, anything like that.
You don't know a goddamn thing's what that means. You don't know shit.
It
or
means
you know everything and you're just too pussy to say it.
It means it's unconfirmed.
Right.
So, they can't. It's just like when Barack Obama did that interview and said that aliens are real, and President Trump said that he shouldn't have done that. He's not allowed to divulge classified information. Now I'll explain what that means. a president, and solely a president, cannot divulge yay or nay on classified information. Even if the situation is aliens are real and President Trump says they're not, if he makes a definitive statement on whether they're real or not, he's divulging classified information. If he says they are real and they are real, he's divulging classified information. If they're not real and he says they are real, he's divulging classified information. That's the way that works. And it's, they're not allowed to give a definitive yes or no on certain things, and aliens is one of them.
Yeah,
that's why
I've always been accused of giving too much information.
Yeah, well, that's why Trump said that he divulged classified information when he said that, is because they're not allowed, even when they're no longer president, they still retain that knowledge, and they're still, even as a former president, they're not allowed to divulge classified information.
Did you see the video? There's got a video, side-by-side video of Obama giving a speech and Vivek Ramaswamy giving a speech.
Oh, yeah, I've seen multiple of those. Yeah.
Where he's plagiarizing Obama's stuff.
Yeah.
See,
and Obama's not the only one that he's plagiarized from.
But I just thought it was kind of funny that, because, and don't get me wrong, I was a Vivek fan for a while, but man, some of the stuff that's popping up with him running for governor is just, I just can't get behind that.
Well, he's one, like so many of them, that'll ride whatever train is going to take him into whatever office he's trying to get into. He'll say whatever it takes for him to get elected. Now, what's he going to do, when he finally does get elected? Anybody's guess.
Yeah. Well, he was worth just a hair over $1 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he started running for governor. Well, now his net worth jumped up to $2.1 billion since he started running for governor. So he gained $1 billion, well, $1.1 billion just in the last year.
Right.
That's their suspect all by itself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason that people started looking at Ilhan Omar, is because inside of roughly a year's time, she went from negative numbers to being, some $30 million to the positive.
Yeah. Now, see, our young lady AOC, she must not be as smart or as ruthless, because it took her 9 years to make 28 million.
Right.
She had a negative $153 in her bank account negative.
Yeah, and she says that Donald Trump is dumb.
Yeah.
A bartender calling a billionaire president,
everything that she's ever said that sounds intelligent, she's reading off of a piece of paper or her phone. Anything that she gets asked off the cuff, it's word salad.
Right.
So
yeah, she called Donald Trump dumb. The bartender who couldn't figure out what the Democrats were doing to make all that money.
Yeah, whatever it was, she wanted to do it.
She couldn't figure it out. And, she's calling a billionaire president dumb.
Yeah. She should quit drinking in the middle of the night and posting stuff on her I don't know. I don't know. Is it TikTok or Instagram or whatever the hell she talks on? You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause
Yeah.
she'll get on there and do her little live streams.
Right.
Maybe it's even could even be Facebook, I guess.
Could be.
But she talks about how stupid the president is. How
Right.
he can't believe that he duped this many people, and what's that tell you about the American people? When so many of them voted for a man that's a 84 count felon.
Mm. Was that
My dogs come in here. All of
telling you it's time to go?
Well, she usually comes in when, and I'm not the only one up, by the way. But when it's time to go outside, I could be asleep, Tony, and there could be two people in the living room talking, sitting on the couch
Uh-huh.
talking, maybe my girlfriend and my stepdaughter.
Right.
And the dogs will come in here to wake me up to let them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're your dogs. It don't matter who they officially belong to. They're your dogs.
Yeah, I know. Just a minute. Stop. Crazy dogs.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's my Big Tony Speak Facebook page right there. Oh wow! Literally, while I was sitting here just now, after pulling it up, I gained an extra follower.
Damn.
Yeah, but I mean, just literally, 2 weeks ago, I had like 12 followers on this page because I've been neglecting it.
Well,
But
I neglect my I got an empty pockets garage page.
yeah,
And when I was doing my videos, my actual car videos, I would post them on there. But since I've been not doing that and doing more political stuff, I haven't really posted a whole lot on there. But when
right.
people come on the Rumble or YouTube or whatever, and they see my name and it's a podcast or whatever, people
Yeah,
are following my Facebook page. So now I feel like I got to go in there and do stuff. The thing
yeah.
is
Well,
I want my live streams to be attached to it, but for whatever reason, it only will go to my first Facebook page, which is my regular page.
okay. Your Facebook empty pockets. How many followers does it have?
Oh, I can't remember. It's not got a whole lot. Let me take a look. Let's see. Drop that down. Go to my pocket. Let's see here. 68.
Yeah, you don't have enough. I don't have enough.
Oh, is that what it
You have
is?
to have 100.
Oh, well, I'll work on that because all my live streams are going to my regular video or my regular Facebook page, and I don't
Yeah,
really want all that on my regular page.
right. That's why I haven't been streaming to Facebook is because it'll go to my regular page because I got crap tons of friends and followers on my regular page.
Well,
But
I'm doing it just for the simple fact that I want my live streams to be out to as many places as possible.
right,
And
exactly.
right
You
now, I'm
know,
in the middle. I had to fill out that little thing for Getter to get verified. So
yeah,
I'll
I
be.
don't even come close to the requirements to be verified on Getter. I'm on Getter, but I
What's the
don't even.
requirement on that?
Oh shit! I
You got to
don't
have a.
even. I
Got
don't
to have
even
a
have it
number.
memorized. Huh?
You have to have a certain number. I just
Um,
thought your page had to be authentic. That's the way I took it. You know what I mean? Like you have to prove that you have like a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel or whatever, which I did. They make you do a screenshot of it
Wait, hang on.
showing like I have 23,000 subscribers, so I'm using YouTube, but I didn't really think about that as a requirement. But I guess that's when Carl told me I should have no problem getting
Yeah.
verified on Getter. So
Trying to remember how to do it. No, that's
get her up. I'm saying get her up. Yeah, because he gained like 500 followers in a week on Getter.
right. Where was it? I'm trying to find it.
I don't even know if that. I don't think it pays anything, does it?
I
Probably
don't know. I don't know.
Probably not. But it does get your message out there, and that's what counts.
Right. That is absolutely what counts.
I got to check real quick on my dashboard and see if where I did my premium earlier tonight if it went through, and it did. Look, right at 5 hours. Woo! Cutting it close.
Right.
I'm gonna hit 90 hours of streaming again. Overnight, I'll hit over 90.
Oh, that's not it.
I'm at 500 hours of viewing.
Right.
I got my raids in. I got 9 more shorts to do.
Yeah.
I got
Can't find
523 followers.
Right. I can't find it now. How to the go live thing. But the other day I did it, and I just like as soon as I saw what the requirements were, because it said you don't qualify, and when I saw what the requirements were, I was like, yeah, no, I don't qualify. So I just backed out of it.
Here's the thing. They removed my marathon live stream from YouTube.
Yeah.
But it had like 364 so far had viewed it before they removed it. And then on Rumble, I got 703 on Rumble.
Right.
So I would have hit 1,000 views if YouTube hadn't removed my video. Then it said it was blocked globally.
Blocked globally.
Damn.
Wow.
Not just banned from a couple of my favorite countries, but blocked globally. Damn. Now, see, when you get verified, all those numbers go away.
Numbers.
Yeah, when you bring it back up. Let's see here. It should not have.
But
Like
this.
Yeah, like it has a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
Now, when I looked at some of these people who are verified, yeah, see how you have a bunch of numbers?
Yeah, I have my screen name and then at.
Yeah, so once you get verified, whatever your channel that you're using that you want to live stream with, whether it be YouTube or Rumble or whatever, it puts that I guess channel name or whatever it is that you call yourself on that channel. Like mine will be like Empty Pockets Garage Common James. That's what it'll show after that instead of a bunch of numbers.
There's all the
like I say on Carl, it says like Killer Carl Radio.
I can't find it anymore. They may have took it.
It was weird, that thing that you got to fill out.
Right.
Well, and I didn't know how to get there, but Carl showed me. He sent me a thing on my text. not that. I can't remember. It was some kind of drop down box that took you to like support,
Yeah.
and then you send them an email asking to be verified, and then they'll send you an email back for this form you got to fill out to give them proof that you have a channel and how many followers you have. I guess I didn't think it was. They didn't ask for followers. They just said they wanted proof, and you had to
Right.
show. So I took a shot of my YouTube channel and sent it to them. So
Right.
I mean, with 23,000 subscribers, surely I should be able to get on Getter.
Yeah. But I could tell you real quick, though. Get that down.
Matter of fact, I still got the page up that it says your verification request has been submitted. Our team will review your application and get back with you once the process is completed. We appreciate your patience. That's what popped up after I finished the verification form.
Okay, to live stream on Getter, you generally need an active account, a stable, high-speed internet connection, minimum of 3 megabits per second upload, and a device capable of broadcasting, such as a smartphone or a computer with a webcam, while specific public-facing technical requirements are minimal.
Hello, webcam, hi.
Right? Minimal. High quality streams require tools like OBS Studio. And you could probably do it on through Rumble Studio too. It's a streaming software in and of itself.
Well, I went live on YouTube by itself before. Marilyn go to bed?
Oh yeah, she went to bed a long time ago. She was on pretty much she was up pretty much long enough to say hi guys, and and then she did a couple of things in the kitchen, and then she's gone.
I was saying about we got some leftover stuff in here about heating up, right? Get on the panicking reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a little bite of something, at some point.
Well, we can probably roll off on this, and you get something to eat, and if you stay up, holler at me, and I'll email you a link. If you don't already have it, you may already have it. I don't know if you've ever been on it or not. The link is the same every time.
Yeah, I haven't been on your panicking.
Yeah, if you're up, I'll send you a link. I just get on there and do ridiculous shit. I don't even try to be serious about nothing. Tyler will have his agenda. He every day he sends us what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and we're lucky to get through it because I'll be saying fucked up shit about everything they put on there. And then like Skillet will want to be all serious, and like he'll take the list seriously, right? So we got it last night, right? So I guarantee he's already went through and did research on everything that Tyler put in there.
Right.
Like national whatever day, and then he'll do the history of it. and then I'll make fun of it or do something stupid, and he'll get mad. And just, well, let me finish this. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Not everything's about research. It's about, there was one a few days ago, uh, something about it had a picture of this girl with a nice set of tits. Don't get me wrong, but not
Right.
large, but nice. And it said, could could you live with this for the rest of your life? Of course, yes. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, we can. And
Right.
and do you think these? Oh, another question on it was, do you think these breasts are too small or too big or just right? I said just right. I think we all three said just right. So, but
Right. Right.
and then matter of fact, I can probably tell you some of it. Let's see here. Where's it at? Tyler's agenda. Today is National Virtual Vacation Day. So on the 30th of Rise, you can take a virtual vacation, reminding us all to relax and recharge and rejuvenate no matter where we are. Now, Skillet will try to read that.
Right.
I will interrupt him. Or it's National Take a Walk in the Park Day. Well, only if you're taking your rapist with you. That's what I'll say, you know what I mean? And on this day in 1867, the United States buys Alaska from Russia for $7,200, or $7,200,000, excuse me, roughly 2 cents an acre. It's worth $160 million today. So yeah, we big profit there. In 1822, on this day, Florida territorial government established for Skilly Vanilli. That's what he calls T Skillet, because he'll want T Skillet to read this because he's in Florida. So he'll read. This is the stuff we do. And in 1981, on this day, Reagan got shot. I remember that.
Right. Right.
What it doesn't say in this story is, why did John Hinckley Jr. shoot Reagan? You'd had to been involved in it at the time to know why. And it's a stupid, silly reason why. I mean, when James Brady, because that's what they call the Brady Bill on firearms. When he got shot, it messed him up, put him in a wheelchair. And had him jacked up for life. But
most of them do it. Most of them do it to get famous.
Well, John Hinckley was a little crazier than that. His reasons: he wanted to impress Jodie Foster and get her attention, so he did that. Now, thousands of New Yorkers' finest turn out to think the NYPD concert at Madison Square Garden, which raised $500,000 for the cops.
Right, right.
Anyways, this is the stuff we do. And if we get through all of it, because there's like 6 other things here.
Right.
And we're only on an hour. So, it's hard to get through all that he puts in there sometimes for an hour. It just ain't happening.
Right, right. Yeah, I've been actually been meaning to try to, get on there and harass y'all, but
And then I have to start out with, okay, guys, get ready with the dartboard. Ass those shit cock motherfucker tits. Then he has to throw the dart every time I said a cuss word. I just get that out of the way. I'm gonna lose by Friday. It's no problem. And they're like, no, you done lost, because they start counting Friday for the following week, because see, Friday is the day of your punishment.
Yeah.
So whatever you do on a Friday counts. It's Friday through Thursday. So like by Monday, I've got the highest score for the week already. Because no matter what they say, they won't come close to having the same score. So anyways, we'll see what I do this Friday.
it looks like, it truthfully, honestly looks like the only requirement to go live on Getter is to be verified.
To be legit. You better be legit, son. Otherwise, Getter's going to get you. See, I had a Getter account already, but I got it because, like, Carl and them's like, you need to come into Getter, and that's where the live chat is. It's not on Rumble. Everybody chats in Getter. Well, I could never figure out how to get into the John Frederick show on Getter, so I never could get into their chat room. I didn't know how to use it. I basically almost still don't. I mean, I know how to get into this channels now to get in there and actually talk to somebody, but that's
Right.
like Heather Hill and them, that campaign I'm on. She uses Discord, and Discord's kind of odd.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got a Discord. I had a Getter. I just neglected it.
It's like I
And
started a Spotify account, but I've never downloaded one video on the Spotify yet.
yeah. Well, I didn't even think about Getter until uh Carl said, "Oh, we're now streaming to Getter." I'm like, "Wait, I got a Getter." While we were streaming, while we were on the show, I freaking pulled up Getter, and I went and uh finished out my account, put my profile picture and put my screen name and all that on there, and I started uploading some stuff to it. You can upload all you want to it, but you have to be verified to live stream.
See, I don't have the time to sit. It sounds sad. I probably do if I manage my time better. But to take the time to download stuff, you upload, whatever you want to call it, onto these other platforms. Like, I don't do nothing with my Instagram channel or page or whatever. I don't do anything with it at all. I've made like 3 short videos on it.
I've got a good bit of content on Instagram.
See, I don't never take the time to do that stuff. I just don't.
I don't have anything recent on Instagram.
That's like see, what's the other one? I'm trying to think here. There's Instagram, Facebook. Getter, X. Now X, I'm glad I got the blue check mark, because now you can go to, and because reason being is because now my followers are gaining on my X channel because of all my live streams.
Right.
So I like it when it automatically posts it to it. I don't have to mess with
it. I hear you. Yeah, when I did my Big Tony Speaks the Word, I was streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. But I forgot to set the thing so that it would like save it for 7 days or whatever. Yeah.
That's so, like every morning, Panic and Rehab, when we first get started, before we go live, I have to go up in the corner and click and connect. And I connect Tyler's channel to my YouTube and Rumble channel. So the Panic and Rehab is not only being on his YouTube channel, but it's also on my Rumble and YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, I mean all this stuff, so many different platforms and all that stuff. It sometimes can get to be a headache.
Well, I really want to go in and start doing it on Spotify. And see, now I got this radio station we're going to be kicking off, and so I got to do all these platforms again.
Yep.
And then, like, we'll have an app that can be downloaded. So,
right.
so now I have to manage that. I'm not going to get much sleep in the next 6 months.
No, you're gonna be busy. You know, that's what this stuff does. It makes you uh extremely busy.
Absolutely. So that's why I was thinking maybe you might want to, like, when you do your show on Rumble, like, simulcast it onto the radio station.
Right.
Anything, it'll get you more eyes and ears on your channel, and maybe get into the actual Rumble program and stay there and start making some money.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing is I got to build up that following, because I've been I looked at the you know after the last time that they booted me out of it. I looked at the creator program. I did a in-depth look at it, and it's really designed for people who have a large following. It's designed. I mean, it will help you make money and all that, but it is designed to for people with a large following.
Right.
You know, so I mean, my biggest thing, since I realized that is, I gotta build up the following. I gotta get me a large number of people following. I mean, I'm still, just a little over 200. I've gained some followers, yes. I'm still just a little bit over 200. You know, I mean,
I'm saying you get on different platforms where you get
currently I
eyes.
have 226.
You get some eyes and ears on you that's maybe didn't know anything about you. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden they like, okay, now that they're watching your show, well then that's what they need to. I don't, my numbers. I don't even know why I got the numbers I got. To be honest with you, but I'll get on anybody's platform with them and talk with them and interview with them and bullshit with them,
Right.
and it just puts me in. A lot of times. Also, what helped too was like Ken's Coffee Talk. She's on at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
I'll get on there with her, and a couple times a month. That helped get my numbers up too, because she's got like 700 and something.
I didn't tell you to play anything. My second screen deciding to play a video.
Oh,
I told you, my stuff's on its last legs,
well, I'm gonna find out what day I got to drive to Richmond and pick up that computer.
Right.
That was nice of them to give me that.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent so much money on the one I can't fix. That's what sucks. But live and learn, I guess.
Right. Somebody on a video that I posted on Facebook about the Sharia police in New York City. Somebody that I don't know who they are, commented, "Told you so." I'm like, huh? Yeah. Because I just got the notification, and I mean,
Yeah, but what would they be telling you so about that? We've been talking about that shit for a while.
Right. Yeah, I've been screaming about it for a long
I'd be like,
time.
Muslims are bad for the country, and then somebody said, "Well, yeah, I told you so."
Right.
No, we're telling you.
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
I'm telling you.
Well, I've been telling everybody for a long time.
Like, Dearborn, Michigan is a shithole.
Yeah.
So is Queens, and now New York City, and a third of Texas.
Right.
where they have 3 of those Sharia tribunals.
Yep.
3 in America.
Yep. That's right. There shouldn't even be one in America.
Yeah, people don't understand what Sharia law does to women. Basically, that's what it's the harshest on is women.
Yeah, and here's another thing that people don't understand about Islam and Sharia. See, there is no actual book called the Sharia law book. It's it's the Quran. The Quran, dictates what is law in Islam, and in fact, I had a Muslim once tell me that Sharia actually means law. So when you say Sharia law, you're saying law.
I got some law.
So I mean,
Tay Tay is the judge.
it's like in Christianity, we have the law, of the Bible that we have to follow. And the Ten Commandments, for example, is Christian law. So I mean, we don't have a separate book that states this is the law for all Christians. It's in the Bible, just like their Bible is the Quran, and their law is in their Bible. And but Islam itself is an all-encompassing governance. It's not a religion. It's designed. The governance is designed to look like a religion.
Yeah, it's a hard road to convince people of this.
Right, it is. It is.
But I can tell you this. I've said this story before. Dave from Southern Fried Podcast, which he's no longer with Southern Fried Podcast. They had a parting of the ways. He's now Wolf Nation. But when him and Rob, the other guy, were doing that Southern Fried Podcast, and I jumped into their chat room and they were talking religion, and then somebody else in the chat room talked about, well, religion, freedom of religion is fine, but we cannot give the Muslims the same. He said so. I can't remember what it was, but anyways, the same legitimacy. And Dave and Rob both got mad at him, and I spoke up in the chat room. And I said, "Nah, you got to understand, he's right. There's nothing about the Islamic faith that is good for anybody in America. It's not compatible. They actually broke the rule of freedom of religion when they actually say in their own words they're going to impose their religion on everybody else's religion. So they automatically lose that right to have freedom of religion." And, before we even talked about making where you say it's a governance and stuff, I was kind of saying the same thing, but in a different way back then. But they got mad at me and told me that, Dave's like, "Yeah, James, you're a good dude, but if you're going to talk that kind of stuff on this podcast, we'd prefer you just to not come in here at all." Like, damn. So they said, you guys can change the subject in the chat room or you guys can leave, because this country is based on freedom of religion. And, I pretty much put in there something, well, okay, talk to me in a year. Well, it didn't take a year. They parted ways. And then I had a conversation with Dave one night, and he's like, at that morning when he said that, he didn't see all this stuff that he's seeing now. And that he knows now that me and the other guy was named Broski. I think he's out of Cleveland or someplace.
Yeah.
It was actually the other one saying something in the chat room. And, Dave's like, you were 100% right. you're 100% right. He said, but I even talked to Rob about that. He said, even though we don't do the show together no more, we're still friends. And
Right.
he gets you can't talk that to him. And I try to explain to him where you guys were coming from and why it was right, and our point of view was wrong. And he shut me off and told me if that's my point of view, he don't want to talk to me about it. I was like, damn.
Sounds like a Democrat. The
Well,
Democrats are famous for that. Putting people out of their lives and etc. out of their circles, because they don't agree.
Something smells very good coming through the house right now.
Well, I tell you what. We go ahead and call this thing, and you go get something to eat because you're starting to smell food and whatnot. I'm hungry myself. I gotta find something to eat.
Right. Well, I'll text you if you're up, brother. I'll send you a link.
All right, man.
Or if you see it's 5:00 or 10 till actually or whatever, you're gonna be up. I'll send it to you.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we will see you later, I reckon. Adios, and well, there's nobody watching, so.
And maybe not now, but sometime in the future, prosperity comes around.
Right.
See what you got to do. What you want is you want me to say something really fucked up, and then clip it, and then put it in the shorts thing, and then bam, just like poof. You never know. Especially like
all right, man.
Talking about get them off swinging on the porch. That can be taken out of context. Well, no, it can't. That's exactly what I meant.
It only has one.
I was trying to be nice. You know what I mean? That's not my point of view. I was trying to describe a certain group of people without actually
calling them out.
Yeah. So it wasn't intentionally to be derogative. It was just a sideways description that other people would catch. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later on, man. We are out of here.